Hey all, Alex here, Mad Cartographer, and welcome to episode 17 of What a Mad Week Fortnite. Been really busy, been so much going on, even taking some time to make these videos is now becoming quite challenging. And so, if you don't regularly check the Patreon, and you're not somebody that's only recently signed up, then you might not have even noticed that we've already put out quite a few maps. We've still got quite a few more to put out. So I'm going to do a quick overview of some of the maps that we now have available. This is obviously our desert theme, given this demo in Foundry, so it does demonstrate some of the canopy features and other elements in Foundry that we've got. So here we go. So we've got a desert skeleton, just like a nice big bird or dragon or whatever you want it to be, and we've just got this rough canopy feature here, where players can move around under this area, and there's some walled off bits so that they can't kind of like pass through stuff in places, but it's a little bit as close as we can, as close as we could get. So that is our desert skeleton. We've then got two pretty simple ones, just some large desert canyons. Do with these what you will. Fairly simple in terms of mechanics and features on the actual map, and similarly a desert cliff where the desert meets the ocean. Just some nice interesting large maps that you can do whatever you want with. Then go a little bit more intricate with this desert shrine. This comes with complementing sure art. There's some digital art for setting the scene of this image, and as you can see, this is some intriguing shrine where this rock feature makes the shape of cast a shadow which looks like a face. It's pretty cool, and this is supposed to lead inside our desert sand trap. So you've got these two entrances here and here, and these relate to these two entrances here, and so all as ever fully walled, fully lit, got sounds on it, and just a nice multi-purpose, multi-roomed map with some cool hidden little rooms, little passageways for passing between areas quickly if you discover them, some pits, and then a bit of a larger area for any form of boss encounter that you want here. We've then got another interior. This is our desert spa, a bit of a mimic on the Jade Temple that Steffen did for the Classic Dungeons 1 theme, I think. The one with the big mosaics in the middle. Steph wanted to do something a little similar to that. Again, his trademark elephant making an appearance. And again, we've got these different areas. So we've got all these curtains all the way around. So if your players wanted to open the curtains, then you've then got the line of sight on either side of the curtain. But they don't obstruct movement, so if they just wanted to move through the curtains without necessarily opening them, then they've got that option with these different areas. And there's obviously sounds of running water and some animation to show like the flicker of the water on the surface. So yeah, pretty cool little map. Again, very useful, a little bit different. I'd say this is probably more of a boss environment, because you've got the main room in the middle, and then you can have all these things happening coming from the sub rooms, but you can kind of play it out however you want to. And then finally we have our Dune Sarlacc, a bit of an homage to two fantastic franchises, Dune and Star Wars. If you are familiar with the Sarlacc from Star Wars, it is basically a huge creature in the ground that Jabba feeds people to, and no spoilers. So this is the skiff. This is Jabba's sailboat, his sail barge, which you can move around. It's got a token attacher, and you can attach your players to it. You can move them around and fly them over the skiff and have some combat. But instead of doing Sarlacc, we did one of the sandworms from Dune. So that's also got some lights and sound attached to it. So you've kind of constantly got this humming of the skiff. And we've decided to use crystals instead of an engine just to make it a little bit more fantasy, so it's more useful. But this is completely removable. If you don't want this vehicle, it is just a token in the actors tokens for Foundry. We also have it as a PNG for people using other VTTs. So those are the maps that we've released so far. We've still got a bunch more that we're working on, that will be released throughout the rest of the month for this theme. We have now, for the all the things tier and the Mad Supporters tier, because you get the same rewards, we now have all. I'm not sure whether we do have the desert in. Might have. No, I think we do have. I think we've got all the print files now. 300 PPI large print files. The files are massive. Some of them are kind of like 50 megabytes. On average, 30 to 50 megabytes on average. So if your players can handle it and you want to use them in Foundry and put them into Foundry, then by all means you'll get some really good zoom levels on there. But if they can't, then they're probably not going to want to be loading up huge maps. But those are available. I'm currently going through them all to remove the ones that aren't for the Essentials bundle tier, because the Essentials bundle do also get print files as well, but obviously they don't get all the maps, so I'm now having to go through every theme and delete the maps that that tier doesn't get access to. But they are printable, they are gridless, they are square grid, and they are hex grid. They're embedded on the map, so you have access to all of them now, I believe, unless there's some that have been missed off. I think we're good. So the Essentials bundle, they will have all theirs hopefully available over the next few days. We'll see. So we've been doing that. We've been getting everything ready. On Friday, there's going to be a bunch of stuff going on the shop on Friday. We're going to do an early Black Friday sale. So anybody that's been waiting around for some of the themes or some of the adventures that haven't been released yet, they will be available on the web shop as purchasable back catalogue, particularly for Foundry VTT. There's going to be a discount, which is going to be on top of your discount if you are an All the Things supporter. So you'll kind of get a bit of an additional discount on that. And we're going to run that from this Friday until the end of the month. So there's plenty of time for people to see it and come and get access to some of that back catalogue. I think we've got 6 Foundry Adventures, 5 or 6 that were in the Adventures theme. They'll be going up, as well as the Feywilds and Dreaded Domains 2. We're not putting up Towns and Cities yet because it's still not complete. I'm really conscious about getting it done, but I'm also really conscious that there's a million other things that I'm trying to do at the same time as well. Obviously there are Towns and Cities maps available, but the Foundry content still needs some heavy updates, and it is literally just finding the time to do it because we're trying to do so many other things, one of which at the moment is working on our magazine, which is Crucible Magazine. Some of you might have seen us mention it before. And we are going to be launching the Kickstarter of that in January. And let me have a look. I did have... 1 second. Let's have a look. There we go. So, I'll give you a little bit of a sneaky peek of what we're doing for Crucible. There we go. It's a real big magazine. It's going to be available in PDF, it's going to be available in print, and it's going to be available in JSON. It is going to be the first full magazine that is made for Foundry VTT. So you'll be able to get that every month. This is not available through our Patreon. Our benefactors, who are in our initial benefactor tier, when we first launched our Patreon way back in May 2020. They are part of the benefactors tier, and they've never really had any rewards for that. Initially, they got a reward for it. They are going to get access to that JSON every month just by being part of this Patreon. For all the things patrons, you are going to get access to one of the adventures from Crucible Magazine in JSON and PDF format every month. If you want the other stuff, then it will be available through a Patreon, through a web shop, or through the Kickstarter, which you can kind of like get subscription even cheaper. But more details of that will be coming out over the next few weeks. We're going to be pushing it heavily at PAX Unplugged, which we will be in attendance of. We are at the Hit Point Press stand every so often. Me and TJ, who's running Crucible Magazine with me, will be walking around handing out some printed samples, a little mini mag of our magazine, so people can kind of see it in print. And there's going to be some other kind of cool stuff as well. But yeah, so this is the adventure. These are the two that are in the magazine to start with, and like I said, everything will be available in print, JSON and PDF. So some really cool stuff coming out here. There's a lot of extra content. It's not just adventures. We've got a lot of really good stuff, not just with the magazine but with the Kickstarter and everything that's coming with it. We're pretty excited about it. It has, however, taken an unprecedented amount of time to learn how to make a magazine and learn how to do a Kickstarter and try to do everything else. On top of that, we are also trying to get stuff ready for our winter bundle in December. We obviously did the summer bundle. It was really successful, did really well. We are now doing the winter bundle as well. It is not just going to be a bunch of old content that we've already released that people can get for cheaper. There's going to be a lot of new stuff in there for you folks who are patrons. You're going to heavily benefit from the winter bundle as well. There's going to be extra content on top of the December theme, so you're going to be getting extra stuff in addition to that. So Christmas is absolutely going to be coming early for all Mad Cartographer patrons. So there we go. A lot of stuff going on. It's just non-stop work, and so there's other things that are kind of like we're trying to get on top of. There's so many things that we're trying to do. We're trying to get on Moulinet. We're still not got on Moulinet with Foundry. With every intention of doing it. We're trying to get more assets sorted out. Trying to get Towns and Cities Foundry pack up and running how we want it to be, whilst we're still making all this other content. So apologies for the delays. Hopefully it's worth it for the other stuff that we're doing that you folks will get to benefit from. But yeah, so there you go. That's everything. I hope it looks cool. Hope you're excited for some of the stuff coming out. Hope you like the look of the deserts maps at the moment that we're doing. Any comments, leave them below. But other than that, as ever, keep rolling those 20s, folks. Peace.